Hello, my name is Vera V, and welcome to the 17th episode of my podcast, Stories by Vera V. I'm so incredibly excited and happy to have you here with me. So, it is a Thursday. It is January 13, 2022. I'm 17 years old, and I have just graduated high school early to be a singer-songwriter. In this podcast episode, I'll be discussing my school experience and my high school experience, how I'm graduating high school early. I'll be talking about the 6 things I learned in high school. And, of course, I'll be answering your burning questions that you asked me on Instagram. All about school, man. So, buckle up and get ready for a ride of a lifetime. Yay-haw! Interesting stories by interesting people. Stories by Vera V. So I casually just took a dinner break in between because it's been a long day. It's 9:30 p.m. right now, and I had dinner at 9. My last Caesar salad of my school. It's my favorite thing in the world, basically. But, no biggie. However, before we get into the contents of this podcast episode, I just have one thing to ask. And count it as my graduation present, as my graduation gift. If you're listening to this on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, please leave this podcast a rating. However many stars, I don't care. I just want your honest and genuine input. And if you're feeling extra nice, the opposite of Grinch, please write it a review as well. So just give it a rating. I love rating things. I don't know if you do, but I think you should. On Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. All right. New episodes coming out every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, now we got that out of the way. Let's get into the contents of this podcast episode. Yo. So, as you can tell, I'm kind of tired. My bedtime's coming up, but I'm recording this episode because it is sentimental and nostalgic and reminiscent of the past 11 and a half years of my life. So I don't care how I'm feeling. I don't care how tired I am. I'm recording this because it is very important to me. Can you imagine? I just finished a chapter of my life that's lasted longer than half of what I've been alive. I'm 17 years old. Okay, let me ask Siri. What is the percentage of, you know what? No. I'm not in school anymore. I have to get rid of those habits. So which brings me to my first point. First day of school ever. 1st of September of 2010. I'm in Russia, St. Petersburg, Russia. My school was called 619. Schools have numbers in Russia. I kind of forgot to mention that. So on the first day of school, all the students would line up and they would find their class, and the teachers would have those little sticks with, I think, leaves or something pretty. And it would have the class name, basically, and that's how you'd find your class. So mine was 1V, which in the Russian alphabet, V is the 3rd letter. And so in Russia, I was always first on things, and now I'm last because Vera V. V is at the very end of the English alphabet. And so I remember finding my teacher, and I remember feeling so excited. Like, I don't remember the feeling, but I know I was. Because if you look at the photos I posted on my Instagram account, at VeraNothing, it's the most recent graduation post, I look so excited. I'm smiling. My sister, my oldest sister, Alina, she took photos of me for that day, and I begged her to find them, and she did, and I'm so grateful because that was 12 years ago. Like, isn't that crazy? I feel like it is. I was so excited to learn, and I remember from the memories that I have of me going to school in St. Petersburg, Russia, they're very scattered, obviously, because my life is here now. I've immigrated with my family. I don't plan on going back, so it's just the way it is. And I remember back then I was in 4th grade history. It was the beginning of the school year. Maybe it was 3rd grade. I don't know. We were learning about some Tsar, which, by the way, in English it's Tsar or Tsar. No, Tsar. Repeat after me. Tsar. Okay, Shadi. Good. We've got that out of the way. I remember learning about it, and I was so fascinated. I think it was just before the Russian Revolution. The Romanovы, that whole family, I think it was about them. But I just remember being so fascinated, and I went back home and I told my family all about it. And that's how I knew that I just loved learning. And now 11 and a half years later, I'm a brilliant student. I really am. I'm great at learning. I learn fast. I learn quickly. I learn efficiently. I'm engaging. And listen, I'm not just being egocentric here. I'm not boosting my own ego. No. My 3rd period government teacher, he can confirm. He said it, I'm pretty sure, off the record. But whatever he did say, it's going to be in my newest YouTube vlog. So be sure to watch that. It's also about me graduating early. How exciting. I just can't believe that I'm starting such a new chapter of my life, and then this one has lasted for so long. So regarding my school experience overall, In Russia, that's what I can remember. I know I was very social and I was very friendly. I had a lot of friends in Russia. I had a lot of friends in Russia. And I really mean that when I say that. And it was a very nice time. I had best friends and it was great. And I remember we moved on November 19, 2013. The day prior, I remember just sobbing. And I was 9 at the time. I remember just sobbing in my room, not knowing if I was ready to move. I mean, I know I was 9 years old, but I still had my life there. I was doing tennis and I was doing this and I was doing that. And I was friends with these people and they were really my best friends in the world, it felt like. And then I just had to pick up and move with my whole family, which obviously now I know it's for the best, but doesn't make it any less challenging. So we got on the plane and we went on a flight for 13 hours, I'm pretty sure. I fell asleep on the man on my right, which if you're listening, I know for a fact he's not. There's absolutely no way. I don't even know if he knows who I am. He never caught my name because I was 9 and he was like, I don't even know if he spoke English or Russian. I don't know. So I fell asleep on his shoulder and he never pushed me off, which I'm forever and eternally grateful for. And all the way on the flight, I was sitting next to my mom, and then on my mom's left was my sister Taya. And so all the way throughout the flight, I remember wishing for a Kievskaya kotleta, which is a sort of dish, Ukrainian dish. I don't know why. I don't know why I was wanting it, but I just remember that's all I talked about and I wouldn't shut up for 13 hours about it. So imagine how nice it was to be near me during that flight. I don't think you want to. So I came back, right? I came to, I'd rather say, to California with my family. And I didn't go to school for the first 2 weeks or so because we were still settling in. And I remember we stayed at a hotel, I think, in Orange County, which is where I still am. But it was in a different city, right? And while during that time, before our dad got us into elementary school here, I remember watching cartoons in English. And English, I didn't speak it. Obviously, I started learning it in Russia, but to what extent, it was like can, can't, tweens. That's all I knew. Pretty much. Or hello, how are you? Very basic, pretty much unhelpful things. Nothing too deep or thorough or complex if we're speaking on those intellectual terms. But I remember watching Paw Patrol because that's just what was on TV at the time with my sisters. And my head was hurting so badly because I couldn't understand a thing they're saying. Also, we watched SpongeBob and I remember thinking, wow, their voices are really weird. That's so funny how my whole life up to that point, I've been watching SpongeBob in Russian instead of English, even though it's created in English, and it just gave me a whole new perception of the cartoon and for what it was, really. And then I went to school, 4th grade. I was placed in an ELD class, which is a class for English learners, and it had 4th graders, 5th graders, and 6th graders in there. All the 6th grade boys like me, and I'm not exaggerating. I kid you not. I have some of them in my DMs up to this point, but we don't talk about it. And back then I had Facebook and stuff, and I was quite a little socialite. And back then, I remember on my very first day of school, somebody asked me, this one guy he was in 6th grade, yeah. I have him in my DMs for clarification. He asked me what grade I was in, and I didn't know English, obviously, so I was like, I thought grade meant garden, and I just didn't respond. So he asked me again, and I just didn't respond. But overall, that class was really nice. And I just remembered, before the English learners class in 4th grade, I was placed in a normal classroom for a week because they didn't have space in the English learners. And so there's this one Russian girl. Her name was is Ita. I don't know why I said that, but I mean, I don't even know where she is right now or what was up with her. I literally don't know what happened after 4th grade. She spoke some Russian, and I remember we were sitting once, and she was like, yeah, I think you should come to my house. I want my dad to get a look at you. Doesn't that sound off-putting? I know, it's kind of weird. But anyway, I remember sitting in that class and I would be taking notes of every single word that I didn't know. Because the teacher was speaking, I didn't understand a thing. So I would be literally writing down notes, words that were in the walls, posted on the board that I didn't understand, which my notebooks were filled. But I was doing it. And then I was in ELD, and I remember 4th grade, Russian education system is different in a sense that it's much harder and more demanding and strenuous almost. And so when I was in 4th grade, I understood 5th grade math, or even 6th grade math, I'm pretty sure. And it was just 4th grade was way too easy for me mathematically wise. Up until I think 6th grade, I've always been good at math just for that reason because I got ahead. But during that time, the way I learned English is by reading this book, The Power of Poppy Pendle. I would sit and I would read it with my dad every single night. Every single night, I kid you not, I would read and I would write out all the words I didn't know. And that's how I learned English. And next year, for fifth grade, I was placed in a normal English classroom. And you know what happened? I shut up. I got quiet. Fourth grade was fine. I had so many friends. It was great. It was a great time. I was friends with everybody. Fourth graders, fifth graders, sixth graders, everybody. I'm telling you. Fifth grade, sorry. I just shut up. I got quiet. Very quiet. I remember on the first day of school, we were placed in groups and I was very overly self-conscious about my English. And I remember understanding things because obviously, I was much better at English. And I know I had an accent, but that just says that I know another language. And I don't think people cared really, but I remember being in a group and I was dead silent. I didn't say a thing. And then there's this one kid, his name was Wyatt. I don't know why I'm telling you this, but that was his name. I don't know what's up with him now also. But he was like, does this girl ever speak or something like this? And I understood it. And that kind of hurted me though. I didn't respond to that, obviously. So whatever, fifth grade, sixth grade. And then I went to middle school. Sixth grade was fun, by the way, but I was still a quiet person. Middle school, I just looked depressed every single day. And I don't know why. That's just, I guess, some sort of role I was playing. I don't know. But I was so sad in middle school. I ate lunch in a bathroom sometimes. I don't even know why, because I had people that wanted to be friends with me and I had friends at school, but for some reason I just thought that I shouldn't be around them because they didn't want me there. Dumb, overthinking. But that's made me into the person who I am today. And I remember once in eighth grade, I just felt so distant from my peers because I've always, starting from a very young age, I've always felt older than I was. Mentally, I feel like at this point, I know I'm 17, but mentally I feel like I'm 40 sometimes. And what can I do about that? Absolutely nothing. And so in eighth grade, it was especially hard because middle school, kids are much younger and more immature, which everybody has their own way of growing and the speed at which they grow. But for me, that speed was much faster. So thus, I felt very isolated and alone. And I remember once in eighth grade, I didn't eat lunch with my friends. I sat in the bathroom and I was doing ear training on an app. And I was texting my sister, Alexandra. And I was texting her like, oh, I can't wait for high school. It's all going to be different. Was it? Well, summer school was fun, I'll tell you that. Kids were looking older when I went to take health right before my freshman year. And then when the first high school I went to started, it was great. I had a friend group and it was a really nice time. I really liked my friends. I thought it was really fun. And then after the first semester, we moved to a different place in the city. It's the same city, but it's just a different high school. So I had to move schools. And a friend I had back in eighth grade, she goes to the school I just graduated from. And so she was the only person I knew there, one of the only people I knew. But on the first day, the first person I knew there. And she introduced me to her friend group. And they're still my friends up to this day. Isn't that crazy? We've been friends for 3.5 years. Imagine that. From the second semester of freshman year. Those are my friends. I went through high school with them. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, they're also going to be in the vlog on my YouTube channel. So go check it out. It's linked in bio on my Instagram page. And also if you just search in Vera V on YouTube, you're probably going to get some results. That's me. This is I. Hello. So yeah, but I remember when I transferred high schools and I was in this new high school that I just graduated from, a lot of people came up to me and they were like, oh, I'll show you around if you need me to. And what did I say? I said no. Biggest mistake. Why did I do that? I don't know. It's made me into the person I am today, but I just said no. I don't know why. But I declined literally every single opportunity to get out of my comfort zone. So that's what it was. And I feel like that really sums up my high school experience. It was meek. I hope meek is the right word. I don't know the exact definition of it, but it was very quiet in a sense that I really was in myself. And I think that started in fifth grade because the language barrier. So I guess that nature kind of stuck. But I just was more in myself than ever, if that makes sense. But then whatever, grades through 9 went. Oh, by the way, in ninth grade, I was taking 8 classes. So yeah. And I knew I was going to graduate early in 8th grade. I asked my counselor or this person that was presenting in English class, and she said, oh, it's best not to do that. Guess who did it? I did. And so 9th grade, I was taking 8 classes. 10th grade, I was taking 10, in addition to the college classes I was taking, which is a lot. Like 10 classes with college classes is a bit. It's a lot. And all of them had homework. So And I was making YouTube videos and I was singing and whatever. So 10th grade, obviously half of it, the last half got cut off because of quarantine. It was all online. I didn't learn a thing. I literally don't even remember what we did in math because I wasn't paying attention. I'm pretty sure I cheated on a lot of it. I'll just be blunt with you. That's exactly what I did. But that's when I started planning my days accurately. And then junior year came and I was going to school for 2 times a week. And I didn't see any of my friends because we were in different cohorts. So they went to school some days and I went to school the other days. And at first I felt really lonely, but then that made me discover a lot of good music. And I also made some other friends, which is cool, but a lot of good music. And now senior year has come. And senior year was honestly the best year of my life. Of my high school life. Let's just clarify here. But honestly, my life as well, because I've been more involved than ever. So that brings me to the question, how did I manage to graduate early? I got enough high school credits. I'm not sure what country you're in, but if you're in America, you need a total of 240, don't quote me, high school credits to graduate, and I got them. So because I was taking so many classes at school, college classes don't count for high school, by the way. So I just did that for fun. I literally have 23 credits for college right now, just for kicks, because I was interested in each and every class. That's how I approach learning. I don't care about certificates. I just want to learn. And so for high school, I just took all the classes and I got my credits that way. If you are in the United States of America and you go to public school, because that's what I have the most expertise with, talk to your counselor because maybe there is a way for you to graduate early. I'm no expert really, but I just got my credits early is what I'm trying to say. So senior year, I just want to talk about that a little bit more. That brings me to my next point, by the way, of the 6 things that I learned in high school. And the first lesson is that it's very important to get involved, I feel like. It's a very obvious thing. And I know before I entered high school, I was watching so many high school advice videos. Gosh, you don't even know like how to be successful in high school, how to make friends in high school, how to blah, blah, blah in high school. And I've heard about, get involved, make friends, go to clubs. And I thought it was all dumb. Which very evidently, I know I did for the first 3 years of my high school career. I know I did. But this year, senior year, I don't know what clicked. I guess I felt more open overall. I've grown into myself, I felt more comfortable and confident. I was on the tennis team. Also junior year, but this year I was in varsity tennis and also junior year as well. But this year I was really involved in tennis in the sense that, we had games, and I have a podcast episode on this. It's called Taking Chances Changed My Life. I'm not sure what series it is. It's podcast episode maybe 5 or 3, maybe 3. Yeah. You should listen to it. It's really great. I love that one. And where I just talk about my high school tennis experience. So I did tennis, which is very unusual. And I thought I wasn't going to do it because it's taking away from my time to do this and do that. But I'm really glad I did, because it is part of that high school experience. And also, what brings me to the second lesson of first is getting involved. Whatever it is you're interested in, just get involved. Try it. You'll never know until you try. You know what I did sophomore year? I did comedy sports. Do you know what comedy sports are? It's this club for people to make jokes. And okay, I'm not bashing the club, but at my school I am, because it just, I don't know what kind of organization it was. And then this guy was the teacher and he was 40 years old and he was a comic, but nobody laughed at his jokes once. I don't care what kind of comic you are. If you're not funny, if people don't laugh at your jokes, can you call yourself a comedian? I don't think you can. I was part of that for a second because I was just trying things out. I was part of drama where we did absolutely nothing. I love being dramatic and I love theater, I guess, in a sense. I love acting. I mean, I don't do it every day or anything. I wish I did, but I love it. And I was part of it just to see how it was. And I did. So the point is just try things. See what you like. Get involved. That brings me to my second point. High school doesn't last forever. It feels like it does sometimes. I know for me, I've been counting days for my graduation since the very first day of senior year. So, and I remember on October 1st, it was 104 days left. Now it's 0. I'm done. I'm done with high school. Hence my little graduation cap. Isn't that cute? I feel like it is. So high school doesn't last forever. It feels like it does. I know. Sometimes it can just be for me, I've had moments where I'm sitting there and I feel like I'm rotting. I feel like I'm an egg or a tomato or a milk getting spoiled. I feel like I'm rotting because I know in those moments, I knew that this environment wasn't necessarily beneficial for me, but I knew that I had to attend because, you got to start where you finish. So I felt like I was rotting and I still went. And now I'm finally done and I'm free as a bird. And it's a little bit sad right now in a sense that it's a chapter of my life that's ending, but I know it's for the best. In my heart, I feel like it's for the best. I know that. So for high school, third thing I learned is to make it your own. And I really have made it my own. Thing is, this is not the best example per se, but it's an example nonetheless. It's part of my high school experience. This year, my attendance rate has been 84% out of all the days in this semester. And days with truances out of, I think, not 100, it's like out of 80 days maybe, have been 27 or so, which is when my dad pulled me out of school midday. And here's the thing. Take this very literary. Do not skip school if you don't have a good reason. That is so dumb. That is so stupid. I have never, not once in my life, gone out of school or been excused from school to just go and sit on my phone. Not once. Every time that I asked my dad to sign me out, it was because we generally were not doing anything. Nothing. So I went home and I just did my homework there faster, and I finished all the music practice that I had to do because, once again, I'm a singer-songwriter. Shawty's on her music grind. Yay-ha, yay-ha. All I ask is it. Gosh, this was some very bad Adele. Adele, I hope you don't listen to this. This was kind of, sorry if I offended you. So, I mean, my attendance has not been the best. And obviously, because of that, I've gotten 4 detentions in my high school career. 4. And mind you this, I hate breaking rules. I really am not a rule breaker. It stresses me out. I don't like it. I'm a very, what's this expression? Too goody tissues? Or good shoes, two shoes? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that type of person. I don't like breaking rules because I feel like if they're in place, they're in place. So for attendance, I never cut class like that. I mean, I did 4 times. That's why I was put into detention. But my dad knew about it. He just didn't call in because I don't think I asked him to. But I never did it like to sneak out of school or anything. That's stupid. So if you go to school and you're thinking of not going for just because you don't want to, you don't have a better reason, don't do that. What is this? So for me, in those moments, I knew that my time wasn't being used efficiently. Like junior year, end of school, we had a final, right? And after the final, we were watching Prince of Egypt. You know what I had to do? I had to still, in my day, go to the gym, practice music, upload a YouTube video. I had so many things to do. So you know what I did? I went home and I did all those things instead of watching Prince of Egypt, which I could do in my own time. Thank you very much. I have beef with school and its time and efficiency. I do. I could make a whole podcast episode about this. I could make a whole series about this. I have beef with time and efficiency that's present in schools. So senior year, this is getting me really fired up if you can't already tell. Let's say, oh gosh, I could give so many examples. Let's start with freshman year. Why don't we? So I was in my history class every day for the second semester of freshman year in my new high school, which is the one I graduated from today. You know what the teacher talked about for the first 45 minutes of class, which is exactly half? Her husband and the weekend. Oh, and maybe, just maybe football games. Oh, and how are we doing? How are we feeling? Oh, and do you know what happened to the stock market? What is this? Why are we talking about nothing for the first half of class? And mind you, that's when I was taking 8 classes. I was finishing school at 3:30. School starting at 8 a.m. I had so many things to do throughout the day, and I still had to listen to that. What is that? What is that? How is that acceptable? It's not. Absolutely not. I don't know if my children will go to public school. It's great for socialization, but in that sense, complete time inefficiency and disrespect to my time. If I wanted to talk and chit-chat about your husband, ma'am, I would come up to you personally and ask. But guess what? I didn't. I did not. I would at her. And then also, junior year, she got mad because people were writing her bad reviews for a rated teacher. She was like, oh, I talk about nothing. How's that? Guys, that's not relevant. Like, it helps us recharge or whatever. No, ma'am, it does not. It just wastes my time. But back then, I didn't speak out because I was too shy of a kid. But I hated it. I hated every second of that class because we did absolutely nothing. And that's been seen in every year of my high school career and experience, which is why I knew I wanted to get out as soon as I could. Originally, I thought I was going to graduate junior year, but there was no possibility for that. So I just did it 1 semester later. Senior year. So I had, see, I graduated. I don't have that anymore. I was a student assistant for Spanish. Spanish 1, mind you. Spanish 1. And the Spanish program at this high school, I feel like it sucks in comparison to the high school that I went to. The high school that I went to, the teacher that I had, she was a native speaker. Senora Covarrubias, I think. I don't even know, man. It's been so long. She was a native speaker and she was amazing at Spanish. She really made me love it. And then I came here and I felt like I was getting dumber and dumber because this one teacher here, she was first day of class, right? I sit down. It's the first day of the second semester of high school. I sit down and she's like, "Hola, chicos. So today we'll be talking about blah, 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 blah." Okay. And I remember back then, because my ear was trained, right, by the first teacher I had, which I'm not sure what her name is. I think it's not the one I said. But I would hear every single grammatical mistake and it would burn my ears. It was the equivalent of putting my ear on a burning pan. Horrible. Horrific. And the thing is, it's the same district, it's the same city, so the funding should be more or less evenly distributed, no? But anyway, that teacher sucked. And my Spanish definitely got a lot worse. And I admittedly, I'll take responsibility. I didn't take complete and utter initiative for my Spanish, but I did the best I could. But at the end of the day, a lot of it's still dependent on the teacher, you know? Junior year, though, my Spanish teacher was great, and this year I didn't take Spanish. So that's what it was. Regarding time and efficiency, though, so many examples. Gosh, where do I start? So this year, bringing back to original point, I was a student assistant for Spanish 1. And Spanish 1 is I think it's the most important Spanish class because it really sets the tone for the rest of a person's language career. Do they love Spanish? Do they not? You know? And a teacher makes a big difference. So let's disregard the fact that the teacher here that was helping and grading stuff for her and whatever, she did not teach them accents in Spanish. Spanish is not my first language. It's my third. I don't know it properly, but I know that you're supposed to teach kids accents, no? No? I think you are, right? Whatever. And also, she would be late to 10 minutes every single class. So the kids would just stand in front of the door. And I think somebody told her or something, like maybe somebody of authority, and she stopped. 10 minutes every class? Are you joking me? What a waste of my time. And thing is with school, I feel like sometimes teachers, they get a sense that like, oh, everyone's supposed to listen to them. And I get that. Because, I mean, as a teacher, I can sympathize. And so I've had some really great teachers in my school career. And I know they go above and beyond for their students. But some, it's this almost level of entitlement. Like, oh, everyone's supposed to listen to me and what I have to say because I'm so important. But at the same time, you don't respect your students' time. What is that? This is why I have beef with school. It's time inefficient. And I absolutely despise that. I detest that. I don't like it. And also with that same Spanish teacher, this is just one of numerous examples, but it's the most vivid that comes to mind. She would... Every Monday, we have a different schedule, so every class is 45 minutes instead of the 85 or 90. She would talk about the schedule for 45 minutes. And also for one of the lessons, it was just like about her family, about her. Ma'am, what is that? Are you not embarrassed? Gosh. So yeah, that really fired me up. I really strongly dislike that. But then again, there were some great experiences and some great teachers that really made me see that they really care about their job and they really respect their students' time and they care about me. They do, and they respect me. And I think that's really the most important thing. So for school, what I learned is that it's okay to make it my own. Because sometimes also it's portrayed as this ultimate high school experience, with high school especially. Football games and friends and everywhere and this and that and this. And if that's just not the case, then it's not the case, you know? To each their own. So for me, the only goal I had was just to learn as much as I could. And guess what? I learned as much as I could. Goal completed. Check mark. So next. This one is a little bit more vulnerable, but it's allowing yourself to be known because vulnerability is strength. And what does that mean? So I already said that when I moved to this new school, I just rejected every single opportunity. And up to this day, like I have my friends at school, right? And they know me better than anybody knows me at school. But teachers don't. Because I am quieter in class and I really just mind my business. And I think it comes from, if I'm psychoanalyzing myself, I think it just comes from insecurity. And that's fine because now I just feel like I've grown. And every time I went to school, I felt like I was a different person. Even senior year, which is now, right? So now outside of school, in public, I don't care where. I feel like so open and I can talk about anything, especially on my podcast with guests, with people I don't even know. And I'm just fine because it feels like my show. It's almost in my locus of control, but every time I went to school, I just felt so different, more secluded. I don't know if that's the right word, but just more inside myself. And I just really didn't even allow for people to really know me. Even with my school friends, I will miss them so much. And if you want to meet them, watch my newest YouTube vlog. Yes, yes. No, Bella Hadid. No, no, I'm kidding. But even with them, I didn't discuss like my podcast or anything right when I started it, you know? For some reason, I don't know why. But I just feel like I separated my work from my personal life too much, because thing is, my work is still a part of me, you know, and I can't not mention that and expect people to know me. And I didn't expect people to know me. I just didn't allow people to know me, which is, I don't regret it. I don't regret anything, but you know, maybe I wish that I would have, because I think it would have been interesting to see how my life would have changed. But because of that, I am the person that I am today. So absolutely no regrets. I'm saving all regrets for when I'm 80 years old, all right? And for me, if I'm really exposing myself here, it's one thing to be open on social media, but it's a whole other to be open in person. And so I had tennis, obviously, right? And at the end of the tennis season, I talk about this in the Taking Chances episode, if you want to listen. We had a banquet, which is a dinner with all the families and stuff. And I remember when we were saying goodbye, and I was saying goodbye to my doubles partner, and we were hugging, whatever, I cried. And I'm so not used to portraying such vulnerable emotion, really. Not that any emotion is not vulnerable, but in public. And it was just so, that moment really changed me. Because even today, like I cried with my friends because I was just, it was a little bit of sad of a time. And they cried as well. So that's that. So if I could change anything about my high school experience, I don't think I would. But a thing I want to keep in mind going forward is that I want to allow people to know me. I'm definitely more of a listener than a talker in some ways. Because listen, I love to talk. Girl loves to express her opinions, share wisdom and whatnot. Because I feel like I have a lot to say simply because of that. But in conversation, if you haven't noticed, like some episodes in particular, I re-listen and I listen back to all the podcast episodes, right? As many as I can anyway, which is pretty much every single one. And especially with guests, when they ask me anything, first, especially if it's about music or something, I turn the tables back on them so quickly and just in a flash. I don't know why I do that, but I just noticed that. So I think for me, going forward, I just want to focus on allowing people to know me and allowing to be vulnerable. Because at the end of the day, when I'm vulnerable, I'm strong because I'm confident in my vulnerability. And I'll repeat that. When I'm vulnerable, I'm strong because I'm confident in my vulnerability. Next. So this one is hits home. Don't these all? Number 5. It's better to have loved and lost than never loved at all. And for me, once again, going into high school, I knew it wasn't my place. I just knew. Some people peak in high school. Some people have a great time. I know that I wasn't going to. Because once again, I just felt very detached from my peers. That's a very weird feeling to have. And I overthought a lot of things. But anyway. And so this year, I really made an effort to really get closer to the friends I've been friends with since freshman year. Because we were friends, but it was like school friends, right? And I really made an effort this year. And we spent time outside of school and we did this and we did that. And I really appreciate it. And I'm glad I did that. Because now I know that I'm leaving and I could be all cynical about it. What was the point of that anyway? Well, the point was to experience it. So I feel like that's what it comes down to. It's this expression about love. It's better to experience it and lose it than never experience it in the first place, you know? So I'm glad I did. And I would do it all over again. I would do it the same exact way. Same exact way. And going forward, I want to love whoever it is, friend, peer, lover. I'm going to love. Even if I lose, it doesn't matter. Because I gain from that love that I have. And then finally, people are much more supportive than I think they are. And that really, I found this out this week. Literally today and yesterday. Because I'm graduating and when you leave, people are extra nice, right? But all the teachers, they're like, there's this, oh my goodness, my business communications teacher. She was like, you know what, Vera, I have a feeling that you're going to be famous. And I don't just say that. I have a feeling you're going to be famous. Because obviously you're very passionate about music and singing and content creation. And that just warmed my heart. And my government teacher, he said that he knows I'm going to be successful. And my art teacher, once again, these teachers don't really know me because I'm, like I said, like I never was too involved in class. I didn't allow my full personality to shine through, not the full range of emotions, you know? My art teacher said my art was a breath of fresh air because it was so emotional. Who would have thought? I never did. All my friends oh my gosh, just watch that vlog on YouTube. If you're listening to this when this episode has just come out, give it a second, okay? It's going to come out on, give me a second. I'll tell you. January 22nd, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's when the vlog comes out. Watch it. Of 2022, obviously. My friends, they're like, you're going to go so far. We're going to be backstage in your concert. And like, I know it's in a joking manner, but they're not kidding about that. You know, and I didn't even expect that because once again, like I didn't really talk about those things. People are much more supportive than I think they are. And that's what really hit me these past 2 days. And I'm so grateful and appreciative. I know you are. You guys are, obviously, because I mean, it's our community, you know? But you know me, and I feel like in some proportion, I know you. But with school, it was always like I didn't allow for myself to get known. And I assumed a lot more than I knew about the people around me. So there's that. And so finally, this brings me back to the answering your burning question portion. So let me log on to Instagram at 10 p.m. and I don't really have access to it because I have downtime, but I'll reject my downtime and read all the questions for you right now. So first question is, why aren't you going to uni? That's a good one. That's a good question. I'm going to go to uni if you're curious. Listen to season 1, episode 1 of this podcast. I talk about it all there. It just doesn't feel like the right thing for me. So, yes, let's just keep on reading. How do you complete a huge amount of work in a short time and stay motivated? So I think this just brings me back to my sophomore year of high school where I was taking 10 classes, not 9, but 10 at the same time, simultaneously. Some of them were college classes, so, you know, it's a lot of work. I think with that, it just comes to defining your goals and just finding passion in learning about things, because I think that's really the essence of school. And I'm not sure that the current educational system inspires that, which I think it should, at least the American one. But it doesn't. It's more about tests and passing tests instead of inspiring children to learn and to be passionate about learning and finding out information, you know? But it's all about, how do you pass this test? How do you pass this class? Which sucks. I'll be blunt, it sucks. So, yeah. Worst and best moments from high school. I think worst was, maybe sophomore year when I had 10 classes and I would just cry every night and I would sleep for 4 hours a day. Or freshman year when I would also sleep for 4 hours a day because I had my YouTube channel and I was really investing into it. And best moments are senior year with my friends. All the moments I made with my friends. Tennis. Football game with I went with my sister once because she also goes to school. So that was really cute. Those are the best and worst moments. Oh, this is a good one. Don't you want a plan to fall back on? I don't know how to answer that. So for me, obviously, I graduated high school early to be a singer-songwriter, but also because I felt like school was not the place for me. With a backup plan, I don't really believe in that. I only have one plan. And that plan, it's very versatile. Don't underestimate me ever. And I mean that. Is music all I'm going to be doing? Absolutely not. I do a lot of things as of right now, and I don't ever plan on changing that. I love being versatile and just very evolved and well-rounded. I love doing those things. So that's my plan. Plan A is the plan I'm going to fall back on. But I don't think I'm going to need to fall because I have an inkling, very almost core belief that I'll be successful. And not to be egocentric, but I know I will be. You know why? I work hard. My work ethic is unmatched. And because of that, I get lucky. So those two things combined, boom, dreams come true. How did your last day go? Today was good. Honestly, I don't feel sad as I expected myself to, but just because it was time. And I knew for a fact that it was time. It's time. You know, it's time to move on. And I've been mentally graduated for, I think, a year now. Maybe even more. I didn't want to go to school for the past year, so what do you expect? So it wasn't as sad. It wasn't like a big hit or surprise because I knew that's what I wanted to do. But yeah, if you want to know how my last day went, though, watch that YouTube vlog. So, are you sad not to graduate along your classmates? That's the fear of missing out, and I don't have it. I don't have FOMO. I never did. Never did. I don't know why. Never did. Only I can think back to 7th grade when people were going to a dance and I wasn't. And I magically thought that this guy I've never talked to in my whole entire life was going to ask me. Like, why? Just randomly? What was that? I don't know. That was a weird period of my life. Hey, Marley, if you're watching this. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just really dropping all the names today, right? But they're relevant. And also, I could be making them up and you just never know. Reverse psychology. So am I sad to be leaving my friends behind? Yes and no. No, because I know I'm supposed to move on with my life. This is just the way that it is. It's the next step. I'm ready for it. But also, yes, in a sense that, I mean, with the friends I have at school, obviously we can hang out outside of school, right? But it's just, in a sense, that I think it's the saddest thing with the friendships that you make in school and you kindle in school. It's just not the same once you get out, because for some of them, because oftentimes it's connected on interests and just classes, and that's all the things you can talk about. But when a person falls out of that, I think it's a little bit hard to stay relevant in that situation. Does that make sense? And so also on the topic of that, what's the next step? So singer-songwriter, what does that mean? So that means I have my first song. I know which one I'm going to release, I think. But first I got to record it. And guess who's coming on this journey with me? You. You are, ma'am, sir, whoever you are, you're coming on the journey with me. So that's exciting. So that would be the next step, recording my first song. But also I'm going to get my driver's license before that, which is exciting, on January 26th, which is also a Thursday. Why do most important things happen on a Thursday? I don't know. Which it may be a Wednesday. I don't even know. January 26th. So that's when I get my license. And then March 26th is going to be my birthday, and I'm going to turn 18. So yeah, I want to release my first song by my 18th birthday, by March 26, 2022. That's super exciting. I'm super excited. I just got to record it. But you'll be there for the process, because I don't think anybody shows their musical process. And that kind of sucks, because I would love to see. So I'm going to show it to you, and you're going to get to see. Isn't that exciting? And regarding graduation and future plans and whatnot, I don't know if I'm going to go to the graduation in June, just because it's in 5 months. I'm going to be a whole new different person by then, I don't know if I'm going to want to come back to a part of my life that I've been gone from for so long. But maybe. I don't know. So just stay with me and we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, yeah. So I graduated high school early. I can take my hat off now. Yeah. But I won't, because I'm making use of every penny and every cent that I spent on it. And that is fine. That is fine. I just really like maximizing things and I love maximizing time. And this year, it's going to be tremendous. I mean, it's already started off with a bang. January 13th, and I graduated high school. Crazy, huh? 13 is my favorite number, by the way. It's my lucky one. So here we are. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. And I'm excited for you to embark on more. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, leave a review and a rating. Rate it however many stars. 5 wouldn't be the worst. 5 wouldn't be pretty good. But whatever it is. Anyway. I love you so much. I send you all my love. I hope you feel inspired and happy today. And if not, then, well, I just hope you do. Bye. All my kisses, all my love from a recently graduated high school graduate. Vera V. Period, sis. Tell them.